Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related, and today I have my Sephora sale haul. This is all of the things that I picked up during the Sephora sale. You guys saw my shop with me a couple of weeks ago, but I did also, maybe, go in store and pick some other things up as well. So this is everything that I picked up. We're gonna do a try on haul of almost everything. There are a couple of items in here that were sent to me in PR, but everything else I bought for myself. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and let's just hop into it. I have a lot of things I'm really excited about. I am first gonna go in with the Deliverance Serum. The Deliverance Serum looks like this, pretty packaging. This packaging is actually plastic, which was kind of surprising to me because all of Dew's other packaging that I have was like in an aluminum can. This has kind of a nice scent to it. I don't know what it is. It might just be like nothing, but I don't feel like it smells just like skincare. I really like the way this feels. This sunk in really quickly. I feel like it's like a little bit tacky too, which makes me think that it'll help my makeup stay on a little bit better. Excited to try this more. Obviously we won't be able to see results from it immediately, but maybe in a little bit my skin will look better and not as red and breakouty. I'm gonna go put on some sunscreen. The sunscreen I'm gonna use is this one from Kanso-san. One of my friends got this for me in Japan, but I think you can get it off Styleana. Maybe give this like a second to sink in, and let me talk about some of the products that I got that I'm probably not going to use today. The first one is this Say Glowy Super Gel. This is in the shade Sun Glow. I actually picked up the Sephora like clean beauty kit that comes with the full size Lawless lip plumper, the Tower 28 mascara, and the Kulfi eyeliner. I'm probably not going to use the mascara today just because I have quite a few open right now, and I am probably not going to use the Say Glowy Super Gel right now just because there's a different primer that I want to use. I will say I've been using this a lot in the past couple of days because for my no makeup days, like really I just want an evenness to my skin tone. I think this is really pretty. It is a darker bronze, but it's really sheer, so I feel like it just evens my skin tone, makes me look a little bit healthier. The glow isn't super intense either. This is one of my favorite like glowy primers. I haven't used this yet. This is an overnight hydration treatment from Amika. I will maybe use this tonight, who knows. The Lawless Forget the Filler lip plumping, I have tried. I don't think the plump is too intense. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it today or not. And then the Kulfi liner, we'll see if I use this. I picked up something else that I want to use on my eyes instead. So, and then I also picked up the Tower 28 SOS spray because I ran out of my Bioma spray and I wanted to try something else. I am so excited about this. This is the Denesse Water Powder Serum. I told you guys that I was super intrigued by this and that I think Denesse has some of the most kind of innovative things out there at the moment. Like I feel like a lot of things are kind of dupes of dupes, but I feel like Denesse has something cool going on with this. I'm just gonna take, I don't know, that much? That was like 5-ish drops. I don't necessarily think that this feels powdery, but maybe it's just because the sunscreen I have on. Oh, never mind. I'm starting to feel it now. I think I just wasn't putting on enough. The sunscreen I have on is like a little bit tacky as well, so I think this one just needed a little bit more product. I don't necessarily notice any pore blurring or anything like that. I did like the texture of it. It's very lightweight. It like feels like it sinks in immediately. And I don't think it's any matter than it was before, but I do like the way it feels. This next thing I'm gonna try, I actually got in PR from Urban Decay, which is crazy to me. I am so excited to try this. I was deliberating picking it up during the Sephora sale if you guys watched my shop with me, but I got sent it, so I'm really excited to try it. This is the Face Bond Waterproof Foundation, up to 24-hour wear. I have mine in the shade Light Medium Cool Olive, which is the number 13. This is supposed to be like a self-setting foundation, so we'll see if that lives up to the claim. They also sent me this sponge, and it's massive, but it's really soft. I think I'm gonna maybe apply like this side with the sponge and this side with the brush and see where we get. I'm gonna blend this side out with my hand actually. The shade match looks really good. It does feel self-setting for sure. It like feels powdery as soon as you finish blending it out. The other side, I'm just gonna go in with a sponge. I'm expecting less coverage. Definitely less coverage as expected. The sponge probably just soaked up a lot of it. I'm actually really liking the way this looks on the finger side though. Obviously you can still see a lot of redness through it, but I feel like it looks pretty skin-like. Even with the sponge side though, it does feel like self-set. It feels actually quite nice. And then I guess on my head, we'll use this. This is the e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. It's kind of feeling weird. Not weird in a bad way, just weird because it is like self-setting, so it kind of feels like I'm swiping powder on my face instead of a liquid. I think I like the fingers the best though in terms of application method. I think this side looks really nice. It's like a little bit clinging on to like this texture a little bit weird in between my eyebrows, but most of my foundations do that. And then I think it looks nice with the sponge side as well. You just don't get as much coverage. So I think for me, fingers is the best way to go. I don't have a new concealer to try, so I'm just gonna go in with my Tower 28 Swipe On Serum Concealer. I don't think this shade in the Urban Decay is going to work for me in the summer. I feel like it's like on the verge of being too light. I did end up picking up the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Swept when I was at Sephora in person. I am kind of very excited to try this because the Cloud Paint formula is one of like the classic formulas for like cream blushes. It is a good formula, so I feel like the bronzer contour version would be just as good. I'm just taking what's left over on my hand and kind of running it down my nose. Get a little nose contour in there. Something like this I would want to apply with the brush. So this is just a Real Techniques brush. It's the 070. I'm just going to take this and kind of pat this out. It's Glossier, so you're not going to have a ton of opacity to it. I feel like this is just adding a nice amount of warmth to my skin. And then there's still some left on the back of my hand, not a ton, but I'm just going to pick it up with the brush and kind of go on my jawline. I think that's really pretty. I actually really like that. I feel like it was really easy to blend out. I feel a little bit more contoured, but I don't feel like it's intense. Like I feel like it's a soft sculpt, which is usually the vibe that I want. As far as my skin goes, it does feel quite set. So I do like the way that the Urban Decay foundation feels. I don't feel like it's going to make me feel oily throughout the day. The next thing that I picked up is the blush from CL. I actually picked this up in the shade June instead of January, which I think I put in my cart for the shop with me video I did. So I think I'm just gonna go directly on my face with this. This is supposed to be like a rosy bronze type of color, and I just want to see if it's easy to blend out if I swipe it directly on my face, which it's looking like it is. Plus the added SPF in here is going to be really nice. I think I would maybe want this to be just a little bit more rosy, like a little bit more pink, maybe a little lighter. So maybe I should have gotten a different shade, but that blended out really easily. I feel like it looks really even. I just think this shade is maybe a little bit dark for what I was kind of hoping for. That is not the fault of the blush, that is my own fault, but just something to know. I think if I were to pick this up again, I would have picked up a different color. Maybe I should have stuck with January. But January looked too light in the swatches, and I feel like it's adding a really pretty glow without being super glowy. Like I feel like the rest of my face looks kind of matte, but the blush adds a little bit of glow. I did not pick up a new powder, so I am just gonna go in with my OIS powder that I have in my project pan. And my face does feel like set already, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want a little bit, especially on top of the cheeks, because I am gonna go in with a powder blush as well. I don't have a powder bronzer to try, but I did pick up the Patrick Ta blush in the shade Just Enough, which is a cool tone pink, but it doesn't look too cool tone pink. I'm actually very excited about this blush color. I haven't even swatched it yet because I wanted to wait with you guys. Isn't that such a pretty color? I'm gonna go in with the powder first, as per Patrick Ta suggests. This is just like a Sonia Kouchak blush brush. I'm just gonna go in with the powder. The powder looks like a really light cool tone pink, definitely not like a ton of pigment, which is not bad. I'm just a heavy blush galley, so just kind of expecting maybe a little bit more, because I know his other shades are actually quite pigmented as well. The draw of this shade was that it looked like it wouldn't be as intense, so I get it. I think just the blush underneath being so dark makes this one look a little bit too like not opaque enough. For the cream, I'm just gonna go in with the same brush I used to blend out the first blush and just put a little bit on top. I think that's really pretty. I feel like it's subtle, but not like too subtle. I do really like that. I did end up picking up the Makeup by Mario palette when I was in store shopping at Sephora, so wasn't planning on spending this money, but I'm honestly really happy I did, because I do think this palette is really pretty, and I feel like I would use this a lot. It just has kind of the perfect cooler toned everyday shadow shades for me, and so I feel like I would just get a lot of good use out of this, even though it is just a neutral palette. I'm gonna take this brush. It's the Spectrum Occasion Hues number 11, and I'm just gonna go in with this shade right here. I don't know if these have shade numbers. This is always so satisfying. Look at that. Oh, that was not satisfying, but you get the drift. I'm just gonna put this all over my lid. I don't usually wear eyeshadow primer, but these are all powder mattes, so I think it'll be okay. With the same brush, I'm gonna go into a little bit of darker brown. I'm gonna go into this one right here, and I'm just gonna kind of run this along my lash line just to deepen it up a little bit. These aren't super pigmented, I feel like. I feel like they're a little bit powdery, a little bit more kick up, but they blend really easily. And this is kind of my eyeshadow vibe anyway. I don't love a ton of pigment on my eyes, just because I don't wear eyeshadow that often, that when I do, I don't want something that's like super in my face. With an even smaller brush, I'm gonna go into this deeper brown shade, and again, just like run this on my lash line. Just trying to blend that out. I'm gonna take my finger and just kind of swipe up to clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna take this. This is not a Spectrum. This is like a Moda Pro brush, but it's just an angled highlighter brush. Quite powdery when you're picking up with kind of a more dense brush like this. That's probably good. I'm not trying to be super intense with my eyeshadow today. I really just wanted to play around with this just a little bit. I also picked up this Kulfi Free the Brow, which I'm really excited about because it's supposed to be similar to the Refi Brow Sculpt. It's a laminating gel, but this one is clear, so it's not going to leave those white little crusties in your brows. So I'm going to go in with this. I don't have anything else in my brows right now. I just want to see how this looks with my like tattooed eyebrows, and then I'll go in with a brow pen if I need to fill in anything else. The spoolie of this is big, but it's not as big as the Refi one, which honestly is nice though, because I don't feel like I'm over applying. And this is going on clear, and my brows do look fluffy. The one thing I will say is that the Refi one is definitely a little bit more volumizing on my brows, and this one is very much just like holding them up, which is what I want from a brow gel, but something to note. I'm gonna let this sit and set for a little bit before going in with the brow pen, but I have a few different lip options here. So I have the Merit lipsticks. These are the new matte lipsticks. These were sent to me, but I have the shade Power, which is this cooler toned red, and I also have the shade Classic, which is a more neutral pink. Honestly, these two shades aren't what I would have chosen from the line, but I'm very appreciative of them sending it to me. I think I'm gonna first line my lips with Anywhere Caffeine. I need to wipe off my lip balm first. I think I'm just gonna go in with Power, or with Classic. I think Power is maybe a little bit too bold for me right now. It does feel very comfy. I feel like because my lips are so dry, these types of formulas aren't like my perfect formula. They're very comfortable. I can barely feel them on my lips, but I also feel like they're kind of emphasizing all of the lines on my lips, and I don't love that look. I think I'd rather go in with a gloss instead. They are really comfortable though. I don't think that if you like matte lipsticks you would be disappointed in this. I just feel like they're a little bit more line emphasizing than I would typically like. I also don't love this shade on me. I mean, I'm not trying to be like super picky. I just don't think that this lip combo suits me. And I also just don't love the way my lips look with this. I just feel like the lines are being really emphasized. I'm just gonna like do one of those, blot it off a little bit, and I'm gonna go on with a gloss over top of it. This is from Summer Fridays. This is their Dream Lip Oil, and I have this one in the shade Rosewood Nights. I've tried this before. I do like this lip oil, not as much as my lip butter balms, but it is nice. It is very comfortable, much thinner than the Summer Friday lip butter balms, but they do feel nourishing. So I like them. I like the shine that they had. These are also very comfortable. They're also very lightweight. Like I don't really feel it on my lips very much. I think I went a little overboard because my lips look a little crazy right now. But they have a really nice shine, really nice finish, and they're not too thick. I do feel like I need a little bit more blush. I don't feel blushed enough. So I'm gonna go back in with the Patrick cream blush and just go over top of this a little bit more. I am gonna use the Kulfi liner, but just to like tightline a little bit. I have two other shades of this Kulfi liner, so I'm familiar with the formula already. I do like it. I do think it lasts a really long time. The Summer Fridays lip oil has a little bit of a tinkle to it. Nothing crazy, but noticeable. I'm gonna fill in my brows first because I feel like maybe the reason why I'm not loving my makeup right now is because my brows look a little bit too cool toned. This also did not hold up my brows as much as I wanted them to. I really like the fluffy look, but this is just kind of giving in place. Like it's not really laminating them to my skin and making them fluffy. They all kind of dropped, which is unfortunate. The Refy Brow Sculpt is still my preferred brow gel. Yeah, I do kind of wish my brows had a little bit more lift to them, but that's okay. Alright, I'm now gonna curl my lashes. Oh, no. I wanted to do a little bit of an inner corner, but just like a little bit of brightening on the inner corner. This is just a little flat packer brush, and I'm just gonna go in with the lightest shade here. Just on the inner corner, just to brighten. Maybe a little too bright. I'm gonna go in with the next shade. That next shade is pretty much my skin tone, so I don't know if that actually did anything, but I just wanted to try it, so that's okay. I'm gonna curl my lashes, put on mascara, and I'll be back to give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, this is the final little look for the try-on. I feel like there's some hits and misses, so let's just go through everything. Obviously, I didn't use the hair mask, but I will let you guys know how I feel about that. The Dew Deliverance Serum, this is my first time trying it, so I like the texture, but I obviously haven't noticed any differences in my skin yet. I do feel like my skin feels nice and plump though, so excited to keep trying this. Obviously, we're just gonna need a little bit more time with that. The eyeshadow palette, I do think the palette is really pretty. I think once I like went back in there and smudged things and like cleaned things up a little bit, it looks a little bit nicer, but excited to play with this a little bit more. I think this palette will be so beautiful for honestly every occasion. Like I feel like it's the perfect neutrals palette for me, neutrals matte palette for me. I also love the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette that also has shimmers in it, so I feel like both of these are just kind of different vibes. I feel like the Makeup by Mario one feels just a little bit more, not classy, but like a little bit more high-end. I don't know. I do like this though. I'm excited to play with it. The Patrick Ta blush formula is so good. We've known this forever. I'm really excited to play with this a little bit more. I feel like this shade, Just Enough, is like maybe just a little bit too light for me. I do think it's pretty. I think maybe it's because I had a darker blush underneath, but for my taste and my heavy blush tendencies, I feel like this is maybe a little bit light. I do think it looks pretty. I just feel like I want a little bit more out of my blush. The Glossier Cloud Paint though, in the shade Swept, I think blended out really nicely. I feel like you can see that I'm a little bit more sculpted, but it doesn't look too intense. It blended really easily as well. So big fan of this. I'm excited to keep playing with this. The CL blush I like that it blended out so easily. Maybe the shade isn't for me right now. Maybe if I'm a little bit tanner, I would like it a little bit more. I do like that it has SPF in here. It blended out super easily though, so I'm excited to have this in my collection. Maybe I'll consider picking up another shade, but probably not anytime soon. I probably just don't need another shade anytime soon. I do think it looks really pretty. You can also see in the packaging there's like a little bit of micro glitters in here, which added to the dewiness effect, I think. I didn't notice them on my face, but looking like really closely at it in here, I do notice it. But I do think my cheeks from the Patrick Ta blush and this blush look nice and glowy without looking oily. So excited to keep trying this. The Kulfi eyeliner, I know the formula already. I really like it. Really easy to blend out, but once it's like set, it's set. The Kulfi brow gel though, I'm not a fan of. I think it's nice as just like a normal brow gel, but I wouldn't consider this like a lamination brow gel. I feel like it made my brows drop, which my brows are very light, so a lot of products make them drop, but with the Unleashia brow gel, I feel like that like does actually lift up my brows and make them look fluffy, whereas this, I feel like they just look combed. Not the biggest fan. I'm still gonna use it, but I kind of wish it gave me a fluffier brow look. The Say Glowy Super Gel I've used and had before. I finished up an entire mini of the lighter shade of this, but this is beautiful. I love the glow that it gives. It's very subtle, not too in your face, unlike some of the other glowy primers that are out there. This shade I really like though, because it does add like a touch of bronziness and it evens out my skin tone a little bit more. So I love this formula. I would definitely consider getting a full size of this once I finish some of my other glowy primers, but really pretty product. Great for oily skin if you want a little bit of a glow without feeling super oily. These, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of these. I think if you like a matte lipstick, then you might like these, but I feel like these overemphasize the lines in my lips. And you saw that I was wearing lip balm pretty much the entire video until I put these on. And like I feel like immediately my lips looked kind of dry. So not the biggest fan. I know it's a matte lipstick, so it's kind of what I was expecting. I think it's just not my preference. I think if you do like matte lipsticks, you would really like these because they're very comfortable. You don't feel them on your lips at all. I feel like I could get away with using these as like a blotted lip. So if I just put a little bit and like smudged it around, I might like that a little bit more than applying it full opacity like I did today. The Summer Fridays lip oil, I think it's really comfortable. I like this shade a lot. It doesn't have like a super strong tint to it though, but it is comfortable. I do like the shine that it has. I think my lips feel hydrated as well, which sometimes with thinner lip products like this, it doesn't after like a couple minutes. So really like this. This one, I've tried a couple of times, but I don't fully have my thoughts on it yet. It tingles, but not too much. I don't think I would pick this shade if it didn't come in with the kit either. I think this is in the shade Velvet, and it's just like a little bit too cool tone pink for what I prefer for my lips. It is line filling though, so maybe I'll try this today after this wears off. This Youth to the People moisturizer, I've used a couple times. It is a nice moisturizer. I don't necessarily think I would buy the full size of this though. I have a lot of moisturizers in my collection. I don't really see myself wanting to buy the full size of that. The Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Serum, I did really like. I feel like my skin feels set along with the Urban Decay foundation. I feel like I don't need powder, which is really nice. I know I did powder anyway, but that was such a light layer of powder. I feel like even when I wear that Canso-san sunscreen, my face does get oily throughout the day. So we'll see how this ends up looking towards the end of the day. I am going to do a wear test. These two together, I do really like. I think my skin looks really nice. I don't feel like it's emphasizing texture. I feel like it does feel set down. Like I don't feel like it's going to move throughout the day. So really excited about this combo. The Urban Decay foundation looks really nice as well. I really like the way it looks on my skin. It like emphasizes texture a little bit in this eyebrow area, but honestly all of my foundations do that, so that's okay. I really like this combo together as well. I think it looks really nice. Okay, it is 3:30. I am just filming this on my iPhone, so I'm sorry if the quality is not great. I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a little bit oily still, especially on my cheeks. The foundation is definitely wiped off around my mouth, which that kind of makes sense just from eating, but I don't know. In the mirror, it doesn't look that bad, and maybe it's just because I'm so tired. Like, I feel like my eyes just look so tired. Well, I am tired, but it's not looking great around my nose either. But yeah, we will see. It is quite nice out now, even though it was super rainy this morning. It's like 11 o'clock at night, so it's been quite a while since I put this makeup on. Honestly, I think it wore pretty well throughout the day. I feel like the blush is definitely faded. I feel like it's like a little cakey in my little nose creases right here. But for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. Like, I feel like my skin kind of just still looks like skin. It's not too oily. I do definitely feel oilier as like the day progressed, but I feel like that's normal because my skin is oily. I think I do like it. I think I do like the foundation specifically. I'm not sure about the primer yet, or the powder serum, because I'm not sure if it was like the combination of the two or just the skin tint by itself, but we will see. I'll be sure to update you guys soon. But for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. Considering I haven't touched up my makeup at all this entire day, I feel like it looks pretty good. I know that my, not mascara, but definitely the eyeliner is like smudging on my under eyes, but that is just because my eyes are like very oily, and it's been like 7 plus 4 11, no, what am I, 7 to 7 plus another 4, so 12 plus 4. It's been like 16 hours since I put this makeup on, and I still feel like it looks pretty good, and I did not touch up whatsoever, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think my skin is looking not bad. Definitely still some dry patches, but I've had those dry patches because my acne has been not the best today. I think that's everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys picked up during the Sephora sale, and if you have tried any of these products, what you think of them. I'm really excited about some of these and to keep trying some of these. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'd love it if you liked and subscribed if you didn't already. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!